Hello everybody, it is Michael Brownstein here from the Food and Wine Life channel, and I'm here with the beautiful
Eva Clay.
And today she is going to cook
Cincinnati Chili.
And this was one of the first dishes that she ever made me, and it contains cocoa powder and cinnamon, and I turned my nose up the first time that she told me she was going to make that, and I was surprised. And
it became one of your favorite dishes.
Yes, and today she's going to make it and serve it. How are you going to serve it today?
Over noodles, like in Cincinnati.
Right, so let's get into it.
So for our Cincinnati chili, we need 2 pounds of ground beef, and I have a lean 93.7 ground beef. I have 2 cans, 14.5 ounces of tomatoes. We have 1.5 tablespoon of cumin. We have 2 tablespoons of cocoa. We have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of ground pepper, chili seasoning like you found in a store, it's about 1/2 cup, chopped onions, shredded cheese, Tabasco, our noodles, salt, sugar for taste, and some water, and we'll need probably a lot of water. We'll figure out how much for 2 pounds of ground beef. So to make our Cincinnati chili, it's really easy. Once you have everything organized, you just put it all together, and then you'll forget and cook this for a couple of hours. So first, we'll take our ground beef and we'll start mushing it a little bit to get all the seasoning in there. So I just like to separate it. Okay, and then we'll add the tomatoes to this. Okay, then we'll add our cumin, chocolate, or cocoa powder, pepper. I guess I'll put just 1/2 teaspoon for now, and cinnamon, and also our chili seasoning. Okay, we'll also add some salt to taste, some sugar to taste, and then we'll add water slowly. So I added 2 cups, and we'll make it into a pasty mixture, so we won't get lumps in our Cincinnati chili, because water will separate the little grains in the meat. So like that. We'll add another 2 cups. Okay. And it's gonna get kind of thick and pasty. So I guess 4 cups of water will be enough for 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay, and now we're gonna set it on the stove and cook it for about 45 minutes on simmer. Okay, on about medium. We'll cook it on medium for about 40-45 minutes, stirring occasionally. So that's how simple it is.
And we're back, and the beautiful Miss Eva has her little apron on, and she's going to check on the chili. How far are we into it?
We're about 45 minutes into it, and we'll check on the progress. So the chili is still pretty liquidy, has a lot of liquid, and the tomatoes are not soft enough. They should be like more dissolved than that. So I'm assuming it's another 30 to 40 minutes before the Cincinnati chili is ready. So we are checking in after 30 minutes. The tomatoes are not that soft as I would like them to be, but our Cincinnati chili is coming together. So maybe it's the brand of tomatoes that takes longer to cook. But I think our chili is ready. So it's been overall like an hour, 15 minutes, I would say. And we're gonna turn this off and set it aside. And then we'll cook our noodles and we'll put it all together.
We're back, and that beautiful Miss Eva's gonna plate it up.
So we had the chili sitting in the pot for about 20 minutes, trying to kind of finishing up cooking itself. The tomatoes were a little bit harder to cook today, but you don't have to eat them. You can actually use probably tomato puree or crushed tomatoes next time if you don't like the chunky tomatoes in your chili. So for Cincinnati chili, we'll take a plate. We'll get some of those spaghetti noodles. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit on our plate. Ooh, they're sticking together. Perfect. All right. So that's about nice portion. We'll top it with the Cincinnati chili. Okay. Just like that. And I would say generously, I'll take that little tomato out of here because it was a chunk. Want more smooth consistency. And then at the end, we'll top generously. In Cincinnati, they put ton and ton of shredded cheese on it. Shredded cheddar. We have like 3 different kinds of cheddar on that. Usually they use, I think, mild cheddar on theirs. And if you go to any of the restaurants, it's piled up super high. Well, for Mike and I think that's all we can handle tonight. And we'll put a little bit of onion. You can add beans. Some people like it with beans. I just like the onion. And a little bit of Tabasco sauce or sauce of any of your favorite. And I'll put some drips of that because that, do not omit hot sauce because it truly gives a different dimension to your dish. And we're getting ready to eat.
All right, we're back, and the beautiful Miss Eva has plated this up, and we're gonna talk about it and then have some wine with it. Some red from Spain, I believe.
Yeah, it's garnache.
That's a Grenache. Yeah, we've had that before, and it was really good.
Yeah, it's a really great little bottle of wine. And I think we got it for Costco and it was very inexpensive.
Right. So the first time I had this chili, like I said, was one of the first few times that Eva cooked for me. And she lived in Ohio at one time for a little while. And that's where you experienced it at?
Yes. Well, I had a friend who worked for Skyline when he was in high school and college. And he told me he makes the best Cincinnati chili. So I Googled it because I didn't know what Cincinnati chili was. And I said, okay. So when he said, oh, this tastes really good. And da 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 da, right? It's the best chili you will ever have. I said, wow, great. So he went to the bathroom, I tasted it. And because I Googled the recipes, I knew it's supposed to have chocolate and cinnamon. He didn't put any of that. So I added it to the pot and I stirred it. I sat on the couch and I waited for him to come back from the bathroom. He plated it and he was eating like, oh my God, I really outdid myself this time. So I knew I was onto something. And he gave me the pointer about adding the water with the fresh meat. And that's how you get the consistency and the smoothness of Cincinnati chili, which could be a great also base for a hot dog topping, like the chili you get on hot dogs. That's a great you can experiment with different flavors, but this would be a great little base.
Yeah, I think you even made some one time for me.
Yes.
They were amazing. She puts like 3 of them on my plate. And I said, wow. So it must be good if she's putting 3 of them on there. So
Did you eat them?
yes, I ate all 3 of them. But there's a certain way you eat this, right?
Yes. So with Cincinnati chili, we don't go like spaghetti because even though it's cooked with, it's topped on spaghetti noodles, you want to cut it like straight cut through the whole dish, little line by line, little by little, just like that. And then cut some more and take a bite of everything, and that's when all the flavors will combine in your mouth when you're eating it, and it's delicious.
Should we have a taste?
Yes, let's do it.
Your Cincinnati chili. Perfect as usual.
Good. And if you'd like your chili to be a little more rich, you can add semi-sweet dark chocolate and then omit the cocoa and the sugar, and it will be fabulous each and every time.
Okay, like just like chocolate chips?
Yeah, chocolate chips or chocolate bar, anything, as
Right.
long it's not super sweet.
Oh, okay.
And it will, because chocolate gives a little bit more like a little fat that's in chocolate and stuff,
Right.
but it's a different type, so when it combines it's actually very velvety and smooth.
Well, there you have it. So you did an amazing job like
Thank you,
usual.
baby.
I can't wait for you to make those hot dogs sometime, the chili
We
dogs,
will.
and make a video with that. I think the people out there would love to see that.
That would be great.
But on that note,
Cheers.
cheers. Till
Na
next
zdrowie.
time.
Smacznego.